Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you a lot more about your Google Drive and how I like to use my Google Drive to create new items. So you can see here I'm in my Google Drive and I've got it set up with this view, but if you wanted to view these as a grid, then you would just click that button there and you can see the folders up here and then the files below, but I like the list view myself. You can also click this little down arrow beside of My Drive and see all of your folders there. It won't let you see the files, but you can definitely see all the folders. You may notice that some of mine are color coded, so let me show you how to make a folder and how to color code it. I'm going to click New, Folder, and it goes into the list alphabetically. Here it is. I click these three dots and I can change the color. If I wanted to rename that, I just right click on it and I could rename it. All right, now let's say that I want to add some files to this folder. I like to get into the folder because now if I wanted to create a Google Doc, it's automatically going to save in this folder. So I'm going to click New, Google Doc, and I can choose to create the document from a blank document or from a template. I'm just going to choose blank document, and it pops up just like Microsoft Word. Almost just like Microsoft Word, but there are a few extra features that I think you'll like. So I'm going to type in some text here. And now before I do anything else, I want to give this a name. Notice when I click up here, it names it whatever I have just started typing here. And you can see it's going into my example folder. I could choose any other folder in the drive, or I could just say, just put it in my drive. Matter of fact, I'm just going to say, put it in my drive. So move here. Now let's say that I wanted to share this with a colleague to get some feedback. I could click Share, get shareable link, and if I only wanted my colleague to be able to see this but not edit it, I would leave this as Can View. I could copy the link and go into an external email service like Yahoo and copy that link into there and say, hey friend, take a look at this doc. Let me know what you think. Or I could type their email address in here. So I'm just going to click Done for now. But oh, one more thing. If you wanted your colleague to be able to edit the document, you would just select Can Edit. That literally means that they can take your content and completely change it around if they wanted to. And if you just want your colleague to be able to comment on it, meaning that little boxes show up along the outside where they've added a comment, you would click on Can Comment. All right. Now, just like regular Microsoft Word document, you could change up the fonts. If you don't see a font here you like, you can click on More Fonts. Look at this. There are so many awesome fonts here. You can select as many as you want. I want to look at the handwriting fonts. This one looks awesome. And now I'm going to select OK. And now it's in my list. Very cool, huh? All right, notice that there's no save button. That's because Google Docs automatically saves, and it's even telling me that up here. Every change that I make is automatically saved in Drive. Now, let's say that I wanted to put this into a different folder. So I can X out of this, and it's going to save. Remember, no worries. And remember, I moved it back into my Drive, so it will be down here below my folders. Alphabetically, sample text, here it is right here. So I've got some options. I could drag and drop this over into a folder. If I right click on it, I could move it to the folder I want. I like this drag and drop feature, so a lot of times when I first log into Drive, that little down arrow is not pressed, so I press that, and then it's really easy for me to drag and drop files into the correct folder. You can see I've got a lot of files right now that actually they need to be filed away because I like for this to be nice and neat. So that is something I need to work on. Now another thing I want to show you is how simple it is to create a Google Slides from your Google Drive. Click on New. I could create it from a template or from a blank presentation. So if I choose blank presentation, it'll be completely blank, just like when you start with a blank PowerPoint. But let's say that I want to create from a template. There are so many cool templates here. Look at all these to choose from. Let's say that I am going to write a sample book report to show my students what I'm expecting for a book report assignment that I'm going to have them do. All right, it brings up this template with lots of different slide types in here that I can edit to maybe just tweak them a little bit to what I want. I could just delete some of these out of here if I need to delete something. I just select it and then I hit the delete button on my keyboard. That's how I like to do it. It's given it this title book report, but at any time that you want to rename a Google slide or a Google Doc or a Google form, basically any Google product, you just click up there in the title field and rename it. You can see right now that it's in my drive, so it's not organized into a folder, but let's say I want to add it to my example folder. Here it is. Go to my example folder. You can see where I've got that doc that I already put in there. Now I'm going to click move here, and it's in there. Just like with Google Docs, everything in here saves automatically. And just like with Google Docs, I can easily share this with others. So if I wanted to assign this as a group project, I could click on Can Edit and then add in other group members' names, and they would get the email sent to them to where they could open this up and be able to edit it. Now, let's say that you are working on a group project, and this is true in Google Docs or Google Slides, and somebody accidentally deletes a section that you need to get back. Click on File, Version History, See Version History, and then over here you're going to see a list of all the people that have edited the document as well as all of the dates and times that they have edited it. So you would be able to select whichever one that you wanted to go back to. Let me show you an example with a document that I've opened up several times. So now I'm back in my drive. Let me take a look at maybe one of my syllabi or one of my schedules. Here we go. We'll look at my schedule because I've revised this a lot. I'm still working on it. Let's say that I wanted to go back to an earlier version. I would click on File, Version History, See Version History. So I could go back to an earlier version by clicking on it and then restore this version if I wanted to go back to that. Just be careful because if you choose to go back to an earlier version, you won't be able to go back to the future, if you know what I mean. So just make sure that that is the version that you wanted to go back to. If you decide, no, I don't want to restore any older versions, just click the little back arrow. And you can see here the last edit was made April 8th. So we're good. All right, so you have seen how to create folders, how to name those folders, and how to change their colors. We've talked about how to create Google Docs and Google Slides and how to share those so that others can view them, edit them, and comment on them. I hope that this tutorial was useful to you. This is just a very basic tutorial, and I encourage you to get into these different Google apps and just play around with them. Click the buttons and figure out how things work.